Hey there, this is Daryl Ballard, and in this video today we're going to talk about passive income strategies. So if you were watching this video, I imagine you were searching for passive income strategies, something related to that. That's what we're going to talk about here, so you're in the right place. And on my channel, we put up a lot of content about how you can develop a successful online business and escape the rat race of the 9-to-5 job. If that's something you're interested in, consider subscribing to my channel. And the first link below is for a 4-day free course on the step-by-steps developing your own 6-figure online business. If that's something you're interested in, you can click on that link at any time during the video. You don't have to wait until the end of the video to do that. Okay, so let's get started talking about passive income strategies. Now, before we talk about the 4 strategies that I want to mention, I want to define what I mean by passive income, because I think that's one of the biggest myths out there. You see it advertised all the time, that there is such a thing as true passive income, where you can sit on the beach sipping on your drink with little umbrellas in it and make a great income, become wealthy, and not have to do anything. That doesn't exist, except possibly for the very wealthy who inherited their income from their parents or some family member. Since that doesn't describe most of us, let's just say that doesn't exist. So what is passive income, at least the way I'm talking about passive income? Well, first of all, it's hard work. Okay, most of the people who have some form of passive income have worked very hard to get where they are. The only other possibility is that they inherited all kinds of income that they could invest. And where do they invest in? What do they invest in? Where does most of that passive income come from? Well, it comes from public markets, like the stock market is the one that we hear the most about, or real estate. Those are the most common ones, and that's where most people make passive income. But unless they inherited huge amounts of money, almost all of those people worked very hard for years to have the money that it takes to invest in that. You can't start with a few $100s or even a few $1,000s and make enough passive income that you can survive. In fact, most people don't make it at all when they start with that small an amount of money. Okay, so passive income in that sense is a myth. What I'm talking about when I talk about passive income is developing some sort of mostly online business. This is what makes it easier. This is what can make the investment relatively small, can make the time to get there not years and years, but a few months to a year or two to develop the following, the audience that you need to have a successful business. And then it's automated or semi-automated with software tools that you can use on the internet. Things that you can use like autoresponders and funnel builders and tracking software that can run your business in a semi-automated way so that you're not having to keep records and do all of the things yourself, send emails all by yourself. That's the types of things that you can somewhat automate so that eventually, it's not really part-time in the first place, but eventually you can have a pretty much part-time business, spend a few hours a day, and have a full-time income from that. Maybe even a fairly large income, because the nature of the internet, you can scale this larger and larger if you choose to do that. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about when I talk about passive income, not the myth of lying on the beach the whole time and having this huge income come in. It's not going to happen. All right, so what are the passive income strategies that I'm talking about? So I'm going to talk about 4 types of businesses basically that can produce some sort of passive income. I'm going to save the one that I favor for last, and tell you why the others, although they may be able to generate some passive income, what makes them difficult. This is not to discourage anybody from doing any of those if you choose to do that sort of thing, but why I've found, in my experience, the one that works for me. All right? And the first one is multi-level marketing or network marketing. All right, and that's some people refer to that as a pyramid scheme. If it's a legal one, it's not truly a pyramid scheme, but the shape of the organization you develop is generally a pyramid. The good ones have a legitimate product or products that they're selling. And if it's based on a legitimate product, something that people want, and it's a legitimate price for that product, then it's a perfectly legitimate business. Now, there are a couple of reasons. It can be done online, which can create a passive type income eventually. But again, it's very hard work to get there. You have to have a large sales force below you. The reason it's multi-level is because you're making some commissions. It's highest on the ones you sell directly to, goes down as you go a few levels down. It doesn't go on forever, but it goes a few levels down. The reasons why I don't favor this are two. The first one is very personal. I'm not terribly good at recruiting people, whether it was doing it online or whether it was talking to people directly. So I recruited a few people in the times that I've tried this, once or twice that I've tried this. They basically recruited no one below me. I'm just not very good at it. You may be, that's fine. Go for it if that's something you want to do. The second one is not personal and may be a reason why you want to stay away from this if it's, if you're just choosing something right now. And that is the recruitment nature of it. If that's what the business is built on, that can get even a good company in trouble. Or if that's what some of their independent representatives build it on and start making promises on, they can get in trouble. In the US, it's with the Federal Trade Commission. They can get in some trouble. Businesses have even folded not because there was anything wrong with what they were doing, but because some of their independent representatives were misrepresenting things. And the last thing you want is for this business that you've built, worked very hard at, and maybe starting to get some passive income to all of a sudden fold on you, and you have to start over from scratch. Okay, so for those two reasons, I don't like multi-level marketing, but it can be a perfectly legitimate business. Just make sure you do your research carefully. Make sure it's based on a real product, and not everybody is making their money just by recruiting a sales force below them, because then it is a pyramid scheme and illegal in most places. So let's look at the second type of business for developing passive income, and that is intellectual property. Now, the most obvious examples of these are authors writing books and musicians getting their music out there. Obviously a very difficult thing to get into. You have to be extremely talented, especially back in the day before the internet. It required a big publisher, a big music producer. Once you were in with them, things were supposed to be good, although we've heard the horror stories about that too. In this day and age of the internet, it has become much easier to do it as far as the logistics of it. You can do a lot of it yourself, not have to require as many professionals to do the job for you. Still very competitive, and still for most people takes years to acquire the audience that they need to sell enough books or albums or whatever to be making a living, and especially to be having some residual income coming from that, as opposed to writing a new book and making a little money with each new book that you write, or coming up with a new song or album. Very difficult to get into, and requires extreme talent, or sometimes you can have something that's kind of off the beaten path, unusual that people will like, and that will go over at least for a while. Usually those are short-lived things, but sometimes that can be turned into some residual income. Now, there's kind of an offshoot of that, and that's freelancing, where you can have a skill that might be related to that. It might be writing, and you can write ad copy for people. You can write blog articles and sell them for a small amount of money, but enough. The website that I use for things like that, if I want to, and there are lots of different things that they sell. It's called Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, related to the typical $5 charge for things, although there's things that cost considerably more than $5 there as well. But you can get a lot of good things for $5, $10, $15. If you had a really good skill in writing or graphics creation, creating logos for people, for instance, you could probably sell those if you were really good for 15, 20 bucks, maybe more. And you could, develop those for a lot of people. You could make a decent living doing that. However, it's not residual income. It's not passive income. It's basically having a job. You would have to be working on this, basically all day long, probably to make enough, especially at $15 or $20, if that's what you're charging for them, to make a good income. If that's something that you're really passionate about and that you love to do, that's great. Go for it. It's a great job. You can certainly do something like that, but it's going to be a job. It's going to be something that you're doing pretty much, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, pretty much like a job, to make enough to survive on. So that's the intellectual property, freelance area. Again, not something that I wanted to get involved in. It's finding the right skill, something that you're really good at so that you can sell those. And to me, it really creates a job, at least for years, if you can develop it into something that can be residual income later on. Okay, so the third one is a marketing agency. This is really popular. You see a lot of ads for this, how to develop your online marketing agency. And what you're doing in this is creating marketing strategies and so on for companies, local, sometimes big companies. This would include their social marketing, their email marketing. You're developing things for them. It's something that takes a lot of skill to do. It takes keeping up with algorithms, new social media things that come on the market. Very complicated, and to me, it's really a job. The way you can make this into passive income would be to hire people. Although, having run a business in the past with employees, I'm not sure that managing employees probably would be a full-time job as well. But if that's something that you're good at and really love, it might be a way that you could develop some passive income. Going to be difficult, take a lot of skill, probably take quite a few years to do. All right, let's turn to number 4, and this is the one I've chosen, and that's affiliate marketing. If we define affiliate marketing is selling someone else's products. So you don't have to develop a product. If you're selling especially digital information products online, you're not looking at huge expenses to get started. You're probably not looking, if you have the right education, instruction, mentors, that sort of thing, you're probably not looking at a huge amount of time to get started with this. I think it's something with the right person leading you, the right mentor, probably in a few months to a year or two, you could have a pretty good business, maybe even with a full-time income. And probably your expenses would be a few $1,000s over that time. It's something that's really reasonable. Now, a lot of people take this on and develop their own information products where there's obviously going to be some higher profit. You're not just getting a commission, you're getting all of the profit from an informational product, which may take you some time to develop may take some money to develop, but once you've done that, selling something online, selling a digital product online is not a terribly expensive thing to do. The reason I like this, and this is where we get to the software and automation, is you can basically make this into a part-time job with a full-time income. Now, not initially, it takes a lot of hard work at first, and that hard work can be even harder if you're needing to do a full-time job in the process. But over some time, I've mentioned a time frame, sometimes it'll take longer, especially if you're working full-time and don't have much to invest in it, either in time or money. It may take a little longer to do it, but it's something that can be done. A lot of people have done it. A lot of people have developed an income of, say, $5,000 to $10,000 a month. That can be done, and there are a significant number who have done hundreds of thousands monthly and even more. So it's feasible, it can be done. Is this the standard thing? Most people aren't willing to put the work into it to begin with to develop that passive income. They just give up and take the job and do what everybody else does. But it can be done, and it doesn't require exceptional skills. I mean, you have to learn some skills, but it doesn't require a college degree or unusual genetics that don't exist out there very often. It's something that anybody can do if they're willing to put in the work, develop the mindset, and do what needs to be done to get there. It can happen. You can do it. All right, so that's the way to get to passive income. The passive income, as I've described it, takes some hard work, but you can get there with affiliate marketing, selling someone else's product. It's something that can be accomplished. Okay, I hope that's helped you understand a little bit about the passive income that does exist out there, the type of income that can help you escape from the 9-to-5 job. Okay, if that's been helpful, definitely let me know in the comments below. Give me some likes if you've liked the video. And again, consider subscribing to my channel where we talk about how you can develop that six-figure income and escape the rat race of the job. And don't forget the free 4-day course on how to develop your own online business, the step-by-step. This was just one small aspect of it, but we've got all the details in that course for you. Okay, it's been fun. Thank you very much. This is Daryl Ballard, and we'll see you on the next video.